So as we start thinking about how PwC can help clients with implementing the standard, what type of tools do we have available?
I talked before about PwC Data Sieve. And basically that's a collection of best-of-breed tools that allow us to extract, consolidate, aggregate, store, and then run analytics and report out on the types of data we were talking about. Step one, again, is inventorying, and once data is in a acceptable format, to be able to extract that data that's coming in off of contracts, PDF, documents, into a store that allows us to run analytics and be consistent in the terminology. And that's a really important component. I think, again, technology is out there. We've chosen some best-of-breed tools that allow us to quickly grab data, analyze data, but a lot of the exercise is in the querying of that data for consistency. And then for that, we run other best-of-breed tools around analytics, data quality tests that we're running for completeness, accuracy, integrity, to make sure that, again, payment is payment and expiry is expiry. And from that, we have then a tool that we can run reports out on, so that if folks, we were talking about visualizations before, if folks want to run some analytics and look at how different data integrates with each other, if you want to see what's the impact on my balance sheet if I change a threshold to X, or if I cut off a lease percentage at Y. To be able to run that in a quick fashion without a major technology investment using best-of-breed tools was an approach that we took. But again, every company is going to have to make those decisions as to what they have in-house versus what they want to buy versus what they want to build. But I would say that we've taken it in threes, again, the ingestion, the storage, and then the analytics.
So you're telling me, to make sure I'm clear here, because I'm just an accountant here.
Keep
so so I have a lease, and where a company may have originally been thinking that I'm going to have to identify a resource within my organization to read the lease and extract the key terms, I can actually use technology that will scan it and extract it.
The technology is really light years ahead of what it was. I think everyone thinks of optical character recognition, and that's needed, again, if you have to scan and digitize, things are sitting in a file drawer and eventually get it into a digitized format. But once it's in a format that's digitized, to be able to extract those key terms without sitting and reading every document and saying, is this complete? Yeah, I think the efficiency gained from that alone is really an amazing feat that really helps us start to analyze the massive amount of data that just came in. So yeah, believe it or not, it exists, and we've been using it, and it really speeds up the process of ingestion.
And it doesn't eliminate the human element, but when we think about just needing, if it took one person 10 hours to read a lease and abstract it, now I'm reducing that level of effort.
Correct. The effort is going to be less on the ingesting the data and more on making sense of the consistency behind the data. And we will use machine learning too. So it isn't that every human's going to be sitting there and saying, should payment equal payment? There is machine learning, i.e., I'm going to think ahead on some rules we've already embedded that this term payment is going to match that term payment, and even if it's spelled differently, or even if it's without out of a certain field, we're going to look for things that are like fields that we could possibly put together. Eventually, you want a human. Eventually, the serial process becomes aserial, and eventually, a human's going to say, yes, I agree. Or I'm going to, back to my point on the CIO, I've got to go back to the business and just to say, is this right? But I've now presented I've saved time on the ingestion, but I'm now putting it in a format that someone can react to. And that's a really important component.